What's up again, guys? Ryan here at 3TR, and welcome to another episode of People's Questions, episode 24. We're really getting up there. I'd first like to congratulate the winner of last Friday's contest, and that was once again now becoming another two-time winner on my show, Gizmo Tech, who got the question right as for what are the three biggest game characters in gaming today, and those three obviously being Kratos, Mario, and Master Chief. Now, many of you might be able to say, hey, maybe what about Nathan Drake and what about these other characters? And although they may be big, they are not the faces of a company. It takes a really talented video game character to be the face, and in Mario's case, he's been the face of Mario for the last like 20 years or something. So, congratulations, Gizmo Tech. I've probably already sent you your Xbox card, and hope you're spending it well. I got a pretty big show today, so I'm trying to get these questions as quickly as I can, but be detailed about it. First one comes from an old veteran of mine by the name of Tranquilico Man 91, and he has three really good questions that may take up some time, so I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as I can. The first one he wants to know is, what are my thoughts on Rocksteady working on a Silver Age Batman game taking place in the 50s and 70s? I'm definitely open for this idea. I definitely like the idea that they're not automatically doing a sequel to Arkham City, because although that game was teasing of the possibility of a third game and what some of the storylines could be, I think it might be a little too early, because if you think about it, I personally can't think of how you could continue after a city. I mean, the first one took place in an asylum, and the second one took place in a city. If they're trying to make it bigger, I don't know how you could pull that off. I mean, what are you going to call it? Arkham Nation? I mean, that just wouldn't make any sense. So I think Rocksteady wants to take their time before they continue the Arkham Asylum storyline, but in the meantime, they want to show us a different side of Batman that I'm sure many of us don't know all that well. My particular knowledge of Batman probably goes as far back as maybe the mid-'80s and to today. So older Batman, back from, say, our parents were reading Batman, is probably the type of Batman I'm not too familiar with, but I'm definitely willing to take time to get to know that version of Batman, even though he would be a much kid-friendly and not as dark character. So I'm definitely open for that idea. The next question you had was my thoughts on Michael Fassbender being in the Assassin's Creed movie. When I first heard he was producing it, I was like, okay, that's good, and then when I heard he was starring in it, I was a little skeptical. And then I was even more skeptical when I heard he was going to play the assassin. The hell? Sorry, chopper went by. Anyway, I'm a little skeptical about him playing the assassin, but if he does, I want him to play a brand new assassin. I don't think he can pull off Altair. He damn sure cannot pull off Ezio, and from what we've seen, he probably will not fit Connor. So it's probably best if he would just play a separate assassin, but have the plot or the story for this movie not necessarily take from what we've already know, but probably have a side story which adds to the stories we already know. Whether or not they're going to add Desmond in it, I'm not sure if they should, but we'll see. So as long as he plays a different assassin and not an assassin we're already familiar with, I'll be cool with him. And your last question was a pretty interesting one, and I think I spoke to you about it already. And you want to know my thoughts on Christopher Nolan not being a part of the Justice League movie. I think this is a great move. Christopher Nolan has really been the strongest force that has really put DC to where it is now, especially with the Batman trilogy now coming to an end and him being the producer of a Superman movie. I respect that he doesn't want to be tied down to doing comic book movies. I mean, as a director, I don't think any great director wants to only do one particular type of film. I mean, look at good directors like Steven Spielberg. He didn't want to be attached to the Jurassic Park movies and a whole bunch of other movies. And look at James Cameron. He only did 2 Terminator films and he didn't go back to it. And same with Aliens. He could have done Alien 3, but he didn't want to. So I have more respect for directors who want to walk away from a big project and want to pursue and do their own thing than have to constantly be tied down to one type of source material. And so to walk away from the Justice League movie it earns serious respect. Many Marvel fans and people who have seen Avengers are saying that now if he's not directing it, then there's no way the Justice League movie is going to top the Avengers. Well, in my opinion, I'm not going to compare them because they're not meant to be compared. They're two different groups that operate two different ways. Just like it's a stupid idea to compare Avengers with Dark Knight. They're both good on their own merits. It's just they're both trying to achieve two different things. Does the Avengers achieve what it was trying to do? Of course. Does Dark Knight achieve what it was trying to do? Of course. They're not trying to outdo each other. So to compare them is completely pointless. So I'm definitely behind Christopher Nolan. He was always my favorite director even before he did the Batman movies. I mean, just check out movies like Memento and Prestige. I mean, those are really good movies on their own. Next comes from a new subscriber of mine, or an old one, hopefully, going by the name of Boneless Chicken 69er, and he wanted to know what was my favorite animated character of all time. I had to do some serious thinking about this, but I managed to bring it down to one. And my favorite animated character of all time would have to be Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Now, Vegeta is also the main character who has my favorite scene in all of Dragon Ball Z history, which is his sacrifice. And in my opinion, that was probably the worst mistake that the guys at Fun Animations did with that particular Boost story. I think it should have ended right when Vegeta died, because in terms of Vegeta, Vegeta has made the greatest character change from how he was at the beginning of Z when he was like evil, an evil Saiyan, to actually developing into a character who would become one of Earth's greatest defenders. That's a hell of a change, and that's much greater than Goku simply becoming more powerful. Goku had never changed characters. Gohan had grown up, but that was an obvious character change. He was going to start as a coward as a boy, and he would grow up to be a strong man. That happens to most people. But for Vegeta to do a complete 360 with his character is amazing, and I really have not seen that done with any other character in animation. So that's why he's my favorite. Next question comes from Zanact. I hope I'm saying that right. I probably posted it right here or something. And he wants to know simply, which game series has the best soundtrack? Any of you who have watched my videos for the longest time probably already know the answer. Hands down, Metal Gear Solid. I have the soundtracks to Metal Gear Solids 1, 3, and 4, which came with the limited edition. And the thing about that particular soundtrack is that each individual track actually fits the situation of what's going on. Most games focus on just trying to make the most epic movie, but they really don't take the time to humanize the music, if that makes sense, to make the music fit the situation or how the character's feeling. By making sure you put the right music at the right time, you not only see it, what's going on, you feel exactly what the characters or the situation is trying to promote. And that is something that only the best type of soundtrack orchestra music can do in both movies and in games. So that's my favorite soundtrack. And now on to the last one for today, which is from, once again, Timmy Primetime. And Timmy Primetime wants to know, who is my favorite gaming team? And he threw out some examples of, is it Snake and Otacon, or is it Shepard and Garrus? My favorite team of all time will be Sora, Donald, and Goofy. I'm sorry, no matter how old I get, I would always want to take Sora's place and team up with Donald and Goofy. It's just the best team. I mean, they go through dark times and they go through happy times. They go through very happy times and they have fun. With Shepard and Garrus, it's a good best friend relationship, but that's if you choose to have Garrus with you all the time. You don't always have to do that. So really, it's really the player's decision to have Garrus there that will show you how strong his friendship with Shepard is, really, depending on if you're a girl Shepard or a guy Shepard. And with someone like Snake and Otacon, Otacon is really the type of person to keep Snake sane, because Snake on his own is a pretty depressing character, but it's always Otacon who kind of brings him up and says, Snake, lighten up, you should enjoy life more, we should do this, and it's his support. He's never on the field with him unless he's like with the little MK2 in Metal Gear Solid 4, but yeah, he's very good support. However, I would feel more connection with someone who's actually on the field with me than miles away safe. And your second question was, what gaming hero would I like to see end the series being killed off? Obviously, there's only one person I can think of, and that would be Solid Snake. Hideo Kojima has stated on many occasions that he's been trying to kill off Solid Snake, and that seems like a very bland explanation. He says he doesn't know how to kill Solid Snake, and that's just doesn't make sense. I could kill off Solid Snake in a well-deserved way. Have him self-sacrifice himself. I was sure he was going to die at the end of 4, but now that we know if there's going to be a 5, I'm not even sure if he's going to be the main character or when it'll take place. If it takes place after 4 and Metal Gear Solid Rising, it's going to be a little weird because supposedly he was supposed to die in 6 months anyway. And I can't even think of any real threat from the past that would need Snake to come back and do one more mission. He even stated in the 4th one that this was his last mission. So if there is going to be Metal Gear Solid 5, then I want Snake to have to die, but not be the main character. Maybe him have like a sacrificing death on the side or something that helps move the story forward. And personally, when Snake dies, I either would like the Metal Gear Solid franchise to stop or be rebooted. Because Snake has made that franchise, whether he's Big Boss Snake or Solid Snake. Those two characters have really driven this franchise, and no one can do it. They're trying to push Raiden once again, but Raiden is just too high-tech, and he's just not he just doesn't have that personality that would make you want to play as him. Now, I know he's like a cyber ninja now, and he was all badass, but that's not what makes a great character. Any character can be a badass, but it takes a good character with a good heart and series of morals to make you want to continue to play that character. And with that is all the questions I have for this episode. Please, guys, keep them coming. You guys keep me busy, and that's always a good thing. Now to get on to this Friday's contest question, which is a little bit easier than usual, but for those of us who have done our research to be able to get this question right. And the question is simply this. In Star Wars, which Legion attacked the Jedi Temple in Episode 3? Simple. Which Legion attacked the Jedi Temple? If you know the answer, please comment it down below or send it to my personal network ID, and you will have your choice to pick whether you want a Xbox card or a PlayStation Network card. And with that, if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and subscribe on top to keep track of me and Batman Month, which will be coming to an end next week, and I just finished purchasing my midnight tickets to go see it in IMAX, so when I do my Dark Knight Rises review, I'll be sure to show off the poster that I got, if I get it. And remember, keep sending your topics in. Once Batman Month is over, I can start putting them out. You guys are awesome. Keep the questions coming. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.